Now live.
Good afternoon. Before we begin the public hearing, I will make the following announcement. Due to the continuing threat to public health from COVID-19, City Council committees are currently meeting remotely. They're using Microsoft Teams to make these remote hearings possible. Instructions for how the public may view and offer public testimony at public hearings of council committees are included in the public hearing notices that are published in the Daily News, Inquirer, and Legal Intelligencer prior to the hearings, and can be found on phlcouncil.com. I now note that the hour has come. Clerk, will you please call the roll to take attendance? Members that are in attendance will please indicate that you are present when your name is called. Also, please say a few brief words when responding so that your image will be displayed on screen when you speak.
Councilmember Green. Councilmember Dom.
Good morning, Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and colleagues. Thank you.
Councilmember Gim.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and colleagues. I am present.
Councilmember Thomas. Councilmember Squilla. Councilman O'Neill.
Present. Did we get Councilman Squilla's presence noted?
Councilmember Squilla is on the call, yes.
Okay. So, thank you. The quorum of the committee, Mark, you're here. Okay, good.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's all right. A quorum of the committee is present, and this hearing is now called to order. This is the public hearing of the Committee on Technology and Information Services regarding Bill number 220225. Clerk, will you please read the title of the bill?
Bill number 220225, an ordinance authorizing the Chief Information Officer for the City of Philadelphia, on behalf of the City of Philadelphia, to purchase licenses for email, cloud services, enterprise software, data services, security software, and other related computing products and services, all under certain terms and conditions.
Thank you. Before we begin to hear testimony from the witnesses we have here today, everyone who has been invited to the meeting to testify should be aware that this public hearing is being recorded. Because the hearing is public, participants and viewers have no reasonable expectation of privacy. By continuing to be in the meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. Additionally, prior to recognizing members for the questions or comments they have for witnesses, I will note for the record at this time that we will use the chat feature available on the Microsoft Teams to allow members to signify that they wish to be recognized. In order to comply with the Sunshine Act, the chat feature must only be used for this purpose. Before I call on the clerk to call the first witness rather than the first panel, and recognizing presence of council member and committee member Derek Green. Thank you, Councilman. Would any colleagues like to say anything in advance? Okay. Calling our witness, clerk, will you please call the first witness?
Mark Wheeler.
Good afternoon, Mark. Are you connected and ready to proceed? Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Wheeler. I'm the Chief Information Officer for the city.
Okay, go ahead with your testimony.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Again, good afternoon, Chairperson O'Neill and members of the City Council Committee on Technology and Information Services and members of City Council attending. Joining me today is Chris Donato. He's the Chief Financial Officer for the Office of Innovation and Technology. I'm here today to testify regarding Bill number 220225, which does permit the Office of Innovation and Technology to enter into a multi-year agreement of up to 60 months with the provider for the licenses for email, cloud services, enterprise software, security software, and related cloud computing products. This is a multi-year agreement that will keep the unit pricing consistent for the period of the agreement, up to the 60 months. The pricing structure for our previous agreements for the purchase of this software and services had been agreed upon price for 3 years, but provided as 1 year agreement with two 1 year renewals. Each 1 year renewal has certain built-in price increases. Most individual unit prices have increased for these contracts as little as 2% and as much as 29% each year. And by having only the single year agreement, we see these various price increases year over year. However, a multi-year agreement with predetermined cost is desired because it's the most cost-effective manner in which to purchase this type of software and licensing. Based on previous increases, OIT estimates a potential savings of approximately $460,000 each year over the life of the multi-year agreement. In furtherance of this request, negotiating a multi-year agreement streamlines many administrative processes that would otherwise occur annually. This efficiency allows OIT, the law department, and the procurement department resources to focus on other administrative functions. I respectfully ask the committee that sets the rules of council be waived to allow this bill to be reported out of the committee and have its first reading at the next council session. I now stand available with Chris Donato to answer any questions presented by members of City Council.
I don't have any questions. I think it's pretty straightforward. We're doing the same Microsoft products that we've been doing, including the one we're on now, Teams, and we're going to save substantial amounts of money by doing this. And I congratulate you for bringing this forward. Are there any questions or comments from members of the committee? There being none, clerk, will you please call? There is no next panel, I understand, right? This is the only witness?
There are no other witnesses.
Okay. There being no further questions from members of the committee and no other witnesses to testify, I will ask if there is anyone else present in the hearings whose name we have failed to call and that wishes to offer testimony on the bill being considered today. Hearing none, I want to thank our witness and all those others that are participating in case they were needed. We value your opinions and we appreciate your attendance. I now invite you to please disconnect from the meeting before we go into our public meeting. We will now pause the proceedings briefly as you leave the hearing.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Everybody off, Bobby?
Yes.
Okay. This concludes the public hearing of the committee. We will now go into a public meeting to consider the action to be taken on the bill before this committee today. Clerk, will you please call the roll to take attendance? Members that are in attendance will please indicate that you are present when your name is called and say a few brief words if you can.
Councilmember Green. Councilmember Dom. Councilmember Gim.
Present.
Councilmember Thomas. Councilmember Squilla.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Present.
Councilman O'Neill.
Present. We're still waiting for a fourth member on the roll call. We're presently doing either Councilman Green or Councilman Dom. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Okay. We'll just give it a few, I'm sure. One of them may have stepped away.
Yeah, Green is present. I see him out there.
Oh. can you, I see him on mute, but he was live a little while ago. And so was Councilman Don. Is Alan back up?
I'm back on, sorry.
Okay. Councilman Dom, thank you. We now have a quorum to get ready to vote, and the chair recognizes Councilmember Squilla for a motion on bill number 220225.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the bill number 220225 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further move that the rules of council be suspended as to permit this first reading of this bill at the next session of council.
Second.
The chair notes for the record that Councilmember Gim seconds the motion. It has been moved and properly seconded. The bill number 220225 be reported from this committee with a favorable recommendation, and further moved that the rules of council be suspended to permit first reading of this bill at the next session of council. All those in favor of the motion will signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion carries. This concludes the business before the Committee on Technology and Information Services. Thank you all very much for your attendance.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon.